Hello, my name is Carl Surrey, and this is a video tutorial for the Facebook group called Fans of Serif Software. Now, this is part 6 of a set of tutorials I have done showing how to make a basic website using WebPlus. Mainly WebPlus. I have used PagePlus and PhotoPlus to add a few items into this website, but it's mainly all being done with WebPlus. And as I've explained in previous videos, I am learning how to use this program while making this tutorial, so I will possibly and have made mistakes along the way, and I've kept them in the video to help show you where you can go wrong, and if you do go wrong, hopefully how to get out of it. Now, this is pretty much where I left off part 5 of the tutorial, but I have added an extra page. As you can see, I originally only had the 4 up here, but I've added a links and disclaimers page, which, if I click on that, I am using the master B as the main template for that particular page. And this is the home page, which is using the master A template. Now, this next part, I'm going to do something now which I probably should have done at the beginning, or very early on at least, and that is to make some guideline margins. What I'll do is I'll go back to I'll click on the master A page so that we are looking at that, and I will come up to site properties and then come to margins on this menu down here, and then we have the margin options. And what I want to do is to make the first margin 30 pixels in from the left, and I've got a tick in balance margin, which means it will then make the right hand one also 30 pixels, and I'm going to want 3 columns, so I'm going to increase that to 3, and as you can see, that has automatically changed the right hand to 30 pixels, and then click OK. And as you can see, I've now got these blue lines coming down here giving me 3 columns. Now, these lines will not appear on the website when you make them, they are just guidelines. And why I have picked 3 is that nearly all sort of like magazines and even websites and whatever that you read, they are sort of laid out in a column format because it is easier for the human eye to read things that way rather than just a very long line of text going across the page. You can sort of, so if you're adding a picture, for example, you can get it to fill up 1 of these columns or 2 of these columns or even all 3. But as long as you sort of stay within the boundaries of 1, 2 or 3 columns, the human eye will make it easier to follow. I'm not going to alter the home page because I'll double click on that. As you can see, this doesn't actually fall within a column, any of the columns really, but I quite like that, so I will leave that as it is, but I will try and stick the other pages to a column format as I make them. So if I go to the PhotoPlus page, for example, as you can see, because this is all made up from the Master A template, the guidelines from the Master A template will be on all the other pages. So what I want to do now is to look at adding a slider. Now a slider is something I'd never ever used before, because in my version of WebPlus, before I upgraded to this version X8, never had used sliders. So it wasn't until I bought this upgrade that I had a chance to use them. So I have been tinkering with them to try and learn how they work. So what I will do is I will click on this arrow here to open up the assets box, and I have already uploaded 6 different sliders, but I will upload a 7th to show you. Not uploaded, that's the wrong word. Added to the assets tab. If I just click on browse, it will open up the assets browser, and in the many folders down here there is one called sliders, and as you can see, these ones with ticks I've already added, but I'm going to add this one as well. And once it's moved over to the assets tab, I can close it down. Now what I'm going to do, this last one is the one I'm actually going to use, but I'm going to add 2 of each of these to the page, and I'm just going to do a quick preview of the page to show you how the different sliders work. So this one here, when your cursor goes over it, the text comes up, but when it's not there, you have the picture. This one here, you have this green line, and as you get near to the arrow, this slider opens out. All of them at the moment have just gibberish text on them, but you can edit those to have whatever text you want, and you can edit them to have whatever picture you want. So let me close that down. Just press delete to get rid of it. You have to be aware that some of these sliders have more than one box, so if you just press delete to get rid of it, you may need to just double check that there are any other loose boxes floating around. Let's try the next 2. Put that one there. Right, let's preview that one. Right, so this one again is very similar to the one I showed you earlier. You have a picture in the background, and as the cursor goes over or anywhere near, the text box opens up. This one here is just got different coloured tabs, and you can edit different text to go on the different tabs. So let me get rid of those. Right, the last 2 I want to look at. Put that there, and then this is where you do have to be careful there, because they're not actually grouped together. It's very easy to, if you don't get it in the right place first time, is when you try and move it, they don't all move in unison. Let's bring this. There we go. Wait until it turns up. Don't let go of the button, and then position it as you wish. Right, so let's preview these 2. So some of these sliders, it's just moving the cursor over the slider will activate the various things that slide in and out, and others need some interaction from the user. So that is that one finished. So let me delete all this. Like I said, if it is a bit time consuming, I mean, I could probably just use the undo button, but as I'm losing track of which bits I've done in which order. Right, I think that's all of them there. And like I said, this will be the one I'm going to use. Now, let me just put this one back onto the page and just close that down. I'm going to use this one as an example when I said to you about editing. Once you've got it onto the page, you can, if you click in the box down, you get various options down here. And let me, I thought one of these was going to be the Slider Studio, but not to worry, because there is a button up here that says Slider Studio. So you can click on that, and this is where you can edit the picture. So for example, this one here, if you just click on the picture, and look, these various options here, one of them is replace picture from file. So if I click on that, I'm going to just change the picture to a textured background. And like most things, you can add almost anything you like to this. So you could add some text and then just do that to it. Go to the next picture, replace the picture, and have a different background or a different picture. As long as you sort of make sure that the size of whatever it is that you're adding fits the size of the image that's already there. So if I click on the next one, and then click on the picture, down here is the size of that panel. So it is 320, say 324 by 344, 345, whichever one you want to make that. So if you make sure that the picture you want to put in is that size, you know it will fit the size that is there. So let me just go back to this blue one. And like I said, you can add sort of almost anything you want into here. You could even insert media, YouTube video, and if you know the web address or the code for that video, you can add the video into that box there. So once you've finished all your editing, you can then just close the studio, and then we just do a quick preview of that. See, and then you can just, so it's fairly easy to edit these. Right, let's get rid of this. Right, that's all those bits gone. Right, let's go on to the one I do actually want to add, and I'll bring this onto the page, and I will just increase the size so it fits within 2 columns on this page, and I will just lower it down a little bit. What I would do is I'll just drag down a guideline to where the top of that is, so that if I add it, when I added some text on this side, I know that it's at that height. So this is where this slider is going to go, and I'm going to down here now. On this one, you have got the Slider Studio icon, so you can open it from there or from up there. So I'm going to first click on the main picture, which I'm going to change for the WebPlus screen, which is that one, and then I'm going to click on the smaller picture, replace that with a smaller version of the WebPlus screen, and then I can alter the text. And similarly, I haven't actually worked out what text I want to put into this yet, so I'll do that at a later date. So that is that finished, so I can close the studio, and then we can preview that in Microsoft Edge or whichever browser you have yours set up to do. So then when the cursor goes over it, a little box slides over, and well, like I said, I haven't worked out what text I want to put in that yet, but that's basically what I want to do on each page. I want to do a screenshot of the different softwares, and then just have a brief description of what you can achieve or use this software for, along with whatever text that I decide to put on. And then with my guidelines, I know that I can put them all in the same position. We just drag this down to the top of that white box. That's better. See, and I don't really need that anymore, but just in case I do, I'm going to leave it on the side there. But when I preview that now, that will no longer be there, but it's always there if I want to use it at some later date, because I still haven't decided quite what text I want to put in here yet. And like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make all the various software pages have this same slider in the same position, so they all look uniform. But if and when I come to do the text, I can just add a text frame, and let me just bring down another margin for down here, say about there. I mean, this probably it would have been a good idea to have done this on the master A so that I had the red ones in the same place, but I can then make a text box for there, and a text box for there. So I've got one long text box and two short text boxes, where once I've decided what I want to do text wise, I can add them in these boxes. So that is basically that page set up, and I'm not going to sit here and demonstrate every page of this. I will do this in my own time later on, and hopefully they will all be looking similar. The next thing I just want to have a look at is adding, let me go down to let's close this down. It makes it easier to find what I'm looking for. he said, not getting it right. Oh, on the tutorials page I have added the link to the video for part 5, and when this is finished I will be adding the link to part 6. Right, yes, tutorials. Now if I click on the written one, I will be adding some links to some tutorials, and you can do this by just inserting a picture, and as the tutorials are in PDF, I have got a PDF logo. Let me just reduce this in size. There. And then I will insert another picture, which is a blue button. I'll reduce that in size as well. So I could add some text in here saying, check out this tutorial on whatever it is, and then you could click on the PDF icon and the PDF will open up. But first you need to link this image to the file in question. So if I right click that and then click hyperlink, and if you come down to file, you'll need to find that file on your computer, and I am going to use the WebPlus Beginner's Guide PDF, and then click open and then OK. So that is now hyperlinked to a PDF, and similarly for this document button I have here, I could say if you want to check out like the list of videos that I've made, I could put that bit of text here, and then when somebody clicks on this button, if I hyperlink that, come to File, Browse, and find the file. So I have the list of YouTube videos that have been made. So that is both those icons hyperlinked to files on my computer, but they are being embedded into this website. So if I preview that page there that I've just looked at, as you can see, as I put the cursor over either of these, it changes to a hand. So if I click on the PDF will now open, and people can read it and print it off or whatever they want to do. Save it. So I'll close that one. Now I'm not going to actually demonstrate this one, but what I'll say is when you click that, it will download the file onto your computer. As it came from my computer, I really do not need it to download onto my computer, but if and when I put these buttons on with links to documents, if you click on them, it will download the file, and they are Word files, which I think is the extension is .docx, I think. So as long as you can view that format of files, you should have no problem downloading it and viewing it, and all the various pages will be hyperlinked within that document, so you can find the videos or whatever is hyperlinked in that way. So what I want to do now is I will keep those there, but at the moment I haven't quite decided what I'm going to put onto this written tutorials one. Obviously on the videos one, I can add the videos much like I did with the tutorials. But I'm not going to be adding too many videos as such or written tutorials. It's just a page about where you can, what type of written or video tutorials you can find on the Facebook page, and so people hopefully will join and or look at for these videos and written tutorials that way. So I think that is about all I want to look at the moment, and to a certain extent that is pretty much as far as I want to go as far as making video tutorials on this subject, because the rest of it now would just be repetition, because like I said before, I'm going to be going through all these software pages and making them pretty much looking exactly the same as I've done with this WebPlus one, with the main slider here and with text here, here and here. So I need to set all this up and then set up the text that I want to add to it, and you don't want to sit here for hours watching me type in what it is I want to say. So that is going to be pretty much all the videos I'm going to make on making this basic website. I hope it has been of some help, and once I have completed this and uploaded everything, I will let you know on the Facebook page, so you can come and check out and criticize or whatever you want about my efforts. I hope you have enjoyed, and you hope you have learnt something along the way, as much as I have, because it has been a learning curve for myself as well. I'm sure that I have forgotten something, and if it is something really drastic, I will make another video, but off the top of my head at the moment I cannot think of anything that I have forgotten. So thank you for watching all the videos so far, and goodbye.